Hi friends, I'm Coach Paige with Rooted in Movement, and this is Foot Health 101, how to find the right shoe. So we have a lot of people ask us questions about what sort of footwear or shoes they should be wearing when we've already been helping these clients work on the intrinsic foot strength or strengthening the feet so that they actually do what they need to do so that they avoid knee pain, hip pain, and anything else like that. So this video will help you kind of address sort of the 4 key points that we're looking for when you're purchasing new kinds of footwear. Number 1, we're going to look for something that has a wide toe box. So if you look at these shoes, we can see how the toe comes almost to a point. This one is a little bit wider. This one being a really good example of the width at the toe, at the very tip of the shoe, is very similar to the width of where the midfoot is. So this would be considered a wide toe box. The second thing you want to look for is a thin sole. So our feet need to be able to feel and detect the surfaces or the ground that we're walking on, especially if we're walking on an uneven surface, grass or rocks or maybe even sand or something of the like. So in this example here, we have the sole of this shoe is actually very, very thick. In fact, it's thicker as we get closer to the heel. And that being said, it actually creates a lot of stiffness there as well too. When we look at this shoe, this minimalist tennis shoe, we see that there's actually a very kind of thin sole evenly across throughout the whole thing, which also helps it move a little bit better. So again, we have a lot of distance between the foot and the ground. That starts to kind of close down some of those Wi-Fi signals, if you will, from the foot to the brain in terms of mapping or understanding where we are and how we're walking in space. The third thing you want to look for is flexibility. So if you understand that when you take a step and you heel strike and then you're going to go into toe off, you want to make sure that the foot has an ability to do not only toe off, but also be able to kind of pronate, supinate. And with this shoe, there's a little bit of bend, but this whole area is very stiff. Again, looking at this shoe, I really can't bend it very much at all. Again, here would be an example of one that is very flexible, where I can toe off and be able to heel raise as I strike the ground and go through my gait cycle. So the final thing you're going to want to look for is a zero drop shoe, or what's called, again, kind of this idea of being flat. So I've already mentioned the idea of being somewhat of a thin sole, but a zero drop basically is in reference to the thickness of the sole at the heel versus down towards the toe and the ball of foot. So you can see on this shoe we have, it actually gains a little bit of thickness, probably about an added centimeter or so in comparison to the toe. This one I think is very visible in terms of what I'm talking about. You can see that it's kind of thin here, 2 fingers distance, but as we get towards the back, it ends up becoming that the sole is about 3 finger distance to the insole of the shoe. So a zero drop, which is actually the name of this company, is the same thickness and width pretty much throughout. So again, there's just a tiny bit on the heel here, but it's the same throughout. So this will avoid lifting the heel too high. Again, that may not be the kind of shoe that you need. There are, as always, exceptions to this, but use this as just a beginner's guide to trying to find footwear and shoes that are actually functional, that will allow your foot to be a foot rather than feeling like you're putting your foot into a coffin or a tight shoe that's going to cut off circulation, blood flow, and your ability to actually walk down the street without pain. So as always, if you have any questions, be sure to put some comments below, and we look forward to educating you again.